This episode is sponsored by Shutterstock.com. With over 20 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips, Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. For 30% off your new account, go to Shutterstock.com and use offer code GAMEBREAKER6. This episode is also brought to you by Audible. For a free 30-day trial and to receive a free audiobook, just head on over to audible.com/Gamebreaker.
Hello, Internet Magic Man here from freetoplay.tv, bringing you another episode of Dat Game, our exclusive first look series. Today we're going to take a look at Aion. We've got 4.0 dropping today, June 26th. We're going to spend some time in the title here. Now, as we go through character creation, I do want to touch on an important point. First off, you'll see you get a choice of 2 Asmodeans or Elios. If you choose anything but Asmodeans, you're doing it wrong. You've got 4 different classes to choose from initially, but this choice will break off into some later choices once you hit level 10 and you become a Deva. Your warrior, your scout, your mage, your priest, you're pretty familiar with all of those. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to let character creation roll here just so you can see how in-depth it is. Aion is well known for its incredibly in-depth character creation. Head on over to YouTube, search it out. You'll see some people create, good lord, you'll see people creating some celebrity lookalikes that are damn close. Fun stuff. I want to touch real quick on the cash shop. I'm going to mention it a few times during the video at various points, and I have to be very clear here. I am on the North American servers, which are run by NCSoft's truly free-to-play model. So on our side of the pond, the cash shop is very, very cosmetic, very booster, that type of cash shop. Now, on the other side of the pond, our EU friends, their Aion servers are run by Gameforge, and there are some additional restrictions that we don't have in North America. So, take a look at your independent cash shops. Ours run on truly free-to-play model, NCSoft. EU runs Gameforge. There are some additional restrictions as far as brokerage, chat channels, things like that. Some of them making one purchase of $5 or more or buying the veterans token thing will free those up for you, so you do have to take a look. We're going to roll a character. Oh, yeah, buddy. Yeah, there's no doubt. That's where we're going to stay right there, at least for our character's head. So everything can be customized here. You do pick from a preset face or a preset body, but then you can customize it with the sliders on the right to your heart's content. Right now we're on the body, just slapping random a few times. You can see the distinct difference. If we go back and yeah, look, tall, small, child, skinny. If we go into the facial features, you see that every single slider here actually does something creepy. Yeah, we're gonna stick right there. Let's make the jaw, puff up this jaw a little bit. Can't see the forehead under my awesome hair. I'm not gonna mess with every slider. We'll be here all day, but those of you that really, really like to spend a lot of time tweaking that avatar to your exact specifications, no problem in Aion. Like I said, we've got 4.0 dropping today, June 26th, as you're watching this video. That's the Dark Betrayal patch. Now let me enter my pin here, and we'll jump back in. Can't let you see this one, guys. Sorry, it's a little private. Dark Betrayal dropping today, so not only do you have all the content that was already available free to play, but you have a new zone, 11 new instances, 2 new classes, which is a first for Aion. So if you're interested in those classes, you'll definitely want to check them out as well. So, typical WASD movement. Now, if you're a 2-mouse button player, where you want to use one mouse to run and the other to control the camera, so you hit left and right at the same time and you can slide it back and forth, you can do that. You'll have to forgive me. It took me a few minutes to remember. In Aion, there's a little bit of a trick to it. You have to press the left mouse button to start your movement first, and then you can hold down both buttons, and you can rotate your camera and move at the same time. Can't just slap them both at the same time. It usually doesn't work. You have to catch it left mouse click, hold it, and then right. Once you get used to it, no big deal, but it does take a few minutes. Typical hotbar tab targeting. Remember, Aion is a bit of an older MMO, few years old. Came out in the East first, and then when it came to the United States, it didn't do as well as they NCSoft originally thought. With its subscription base and its heavy, grindy gameplay, it didn't catch on too well here. Even though the visuals were very impressive at the time, they're still pretty impressive, depending on what type of settings you're running the game on. Not top tier, but they're still up there. It's not looking like something 10 years old. But it didn't do well over here. It went free to play a while ago. Again, that's when you had the split in the models for the EU and the United States. Now it's doing okay. They've had some tweaks and some changes, some convenience features. For the West, they've made it more of a quest grind instead of a mob grind by adding a ton of different quests. But you're going to be used to a lot of the systems in Aion. Tab targeting, hotbar, press 1, press 2. There are a few tweaks on it. Now take a look here. You see I got 100 experience for that kill. This is something that's a few months old. There's now in the game a fast track server. Now there is a level cap on this one, so you can use it up to about the mid-50s. Let me pull this here so you can see it. Right now we're on the standard server. We're going to flip over to the fast track server. Now what does this do? This ups your experience rate for your kills, your quests, your things like that, so that you can catch up to any friends that may be playing the game a lot faster. There is a downside to this. It does impact world PvP. Some of the zones and things that you were able to attack the other faction, you won't be able to anymore on the fast track server. Once you bounce back to the regular server, obviously, again, you can do your world PvP. You're free to bounce back and forth between these servers as much as you want. I'm in the fast track server now. We'll kill, well, I'm not, yeah, 42 experience because I jumped in on an NPC fight. Let's go grab a fresh target. Now remember, I received 100 experience for the first kill, and this time we're gonna get, come on, a level, ding! 130 XP. Now I don't think that's the same target I killed, so let's try one of these workers. We'll knock him down. And, right, there we go, 200 experience now. So we're essentially doubling our experience per kill in most cases. So pretty nice way to gain a few levels, gain a huge advantage. Now there used to be an item in the cash shop that would give you like 10 to 20% of your level if you wanted to buy it. That's since been taken away, obviously with 2 new classes. NCSoft wants you to level it the old-fashioned way. Right now I'm going to gather a couple of these. Not really much to say on the gathering professions. It's RNG, so you make your first click, and the rest happens by itself. You do get experience for it, though, so, again, a faster way to keep leveling. You can gather everything that you see. Gathering comes from things in the land you see there, and from monsters, depending on which gathering profession you're leveling up. I don't want to spend too much time in the newbie area here. There's plenty of YouTube footage on that, and as soon as you boot up the game, you can take advantage and learn the newbie stuff really quickly. So I'm going to turn this in, and then I'm going to jump over to my other character. Alright, so now we're level 21. I've already ascended. I've got my wings. There we go. Now, there's 2 things about the wings. This was a big selling feature for the game before it came out. In the West, everybody's like, oh man, my character's gonna fly, it's gonna be awesome. And then not so much. It is definitely a cool feature, but it wasn't the way it was sold to everybody. There's 2 different types of flying, actually. There are certain areas where you can fly in 3 dimensions as much as you want. Well, as much as your little green meter there just to the left of the mini-map will allow you. you. Once it depletes, you'll come crashing to the ground. But in most areas, it's more of a glide. Now, it can be used to navigate some landscapes very quickly, getting from one place to the other. You can use the flight points, you can use the teleports. The glide can be used to zip across the landscapes as well. Now, we're outside the first instance of the game, so let me do my little questionnaire here and show you a few things before we go into the instance. If you're a PvE guy like myself, there are plenty of instances. I'll show them to you in a minute. Titles in Aion actually give you stats. You can see that on the right-hand side. So switching your title can be an important factor in whatever you're doing, depending on the stats. Now, here's typical gear, my Stigma. Again, I'm only level 21, so I've just really started with the Stigma sharding system. That's a way to enhance some of your stats and abilities. I'm 21. I can't get to the Abyss yet. We'll get to that in just a second. That's for you PvPers out there. The Abyss is Aion's PvP, besides the open world stuff. Your skills work just like older MMORPGs do, where you have to purchase your skills from a trainer. And these are my crafting and my gathering. Crafting works the same way. You'll purchase your different patterns or formulas or whatever. There's 6 different crafting professions, and you'll gather the materials yourself, buy them in an auction house or whatever. One of the unique things, at least unique at the time, was the skill system, where one of your abilities, when triggered, could lead to a second ability or a third ability or even more, chaining together in sequence to give you greater and greater effects. So you can start to see, now I'm pretty limited here at 21. If I'm shocked or stunned, I have a chance that I can use this next ability, but I don't know that ability yet, so some of these trees aren't open to me. And the greater Stigma, those shard things that you saw earlier, I don't have really much I can do here yet, being level 21, but you can see how complex these skills can get. That doesn't mean that you have to remember every single chain. When we go inside this instance, I'll show you what the game does to kind of cue you as to what abilities are next in the skill chain that you're working on. So you don't have to memorize it. Don't panic. Let's jump up and check out the instances. I am not looking for group. Wrong menu. My apologies. Okay, so let's sort this by level. All right, Haramel is where I am standing right now. It's a solo instance. It's the first one you'll get to, as you can see, about at level 16. The rest of these show you all the player requirements: 48 players, 12 players, 6 players, shows you the party size, shows you the relative level. There's a wait time in your queuing. Again, I think that's actually a factor in the EU side of things. So let's jump in and, a factor in being that you can only run so many, or that timer's a little longer for free-to-play players. It's a factor here too, but I haven't really bumped up against it yet. All right, solo instance Haramel. Let's go, and I'm just going to make a beeline for the first boss. I'm going to show you the skill chains that you can get going here. So, all right, let's get this Watchman. Now, I'm going to trigger my abilities, and now you see how it popped up to the right of my character, the next ability in that chain. And all of your abilities will do this if another ability becomes available for either a decreased cooldown or a decreased casting time or an increased damage. Whatever the chain is set to do, it will pop it to the right of your character. That doesn't mean that you're locked into using that ability. You don't have to. It's just giving you the option of continuing your chain without you having to memorize every single chain. Now, obviously, I am, 3 levels above this, so this boss isn't going to present too much of a challenge. I came here just more to show you the actual skills. As you level up, those chains can become really, really complex, where you're chaining 3 and 4 abilities together instead of just 1 or 2. On the PvP side of things, I can't queue up and show that to you because there's really only one option and there's no queue for it. Once you hit level 25, you'll receive a series of quests that unlock the Abyss. The world of Aion is essentially a world shattered, where one side of the globe, if you will, imagine a globe with the middle torn out, one side is always in the light and one side is always in the dark. So you get this kind of good and evil, light and dark thing going between the Elios and the Asmodeans. The Abyss is the zone in the middle of those two halves that are floating around each other. Once you're 25, you'll get a quest to open that up, and you could take part. Unfortunately, I'm not 25 yet. Well, that should give you a little bit of a heads up, maybe a fresh look on it, and for you guys that have ditched Aion a while ago, maybe it's time to take a look and come on back. With 4.0 dropping, you've got 11 instances, all kinds of new content in a new zone, 2 new classes, of course, so it's a great time to check it out if you're a fan of. This is Magic Man from Free to Play TV saying make sure you rate, like, subscribe, come on over to the site, and of course, as always, stay safe, and we'll see you out on the servers.